There is a specific kind of horror scene that gets under my skin more than almost anything else. Not the chase scene, not the loud crash, not even the monster jumping out. I'm talking about the quiet scene, the one where a character is sitting alone in a dark room, or standing in a hallway, or staring at a closet door that is cracked open just a little too much. Nothing is technically happening. No one is screaming. No creature is running across the screen. And somehow, that is the part that makes me want to pull the blanket up a little higher. Because sometimes the scariest horror moments happen when almost nothing is happening. Quiet horror works because it gives your imagination room to work. When a movie shows us the monster right away, we can react to it. We can look at it and decide how scary it is. But when the movie holds back, our minds start filling in the blanks. The dark corner could be empty, or something could be standing there. That closet door could be open because someone forgot to close it, or it could be open because something came out. The longer the movie waits, the more our imagination starts working against us. And that is where quiet horror becomes powerful. It does not have to show us everything. It only has to suggest that something may be wrong. A quiet scene gives us space to think. And in horror, thinking is dangerous. Because once your mind starts asking questions, it rarely asks comforting ones. What was that sound? Why is that door open? Did something move? What if someone is already in the room? That is the trap quiet horror sets. We are not just watching the fear. We are helping build it. Silence also becomes suspicious in horror. In real life, quiet can be peaceful. A quiet room, a quiet night, a quiet moment when everything finally settles. But in horror, quiet often feels like the world is holding its breath. It feels too still, too patient, like the room is waiting. And when a scene sits in silence, we start listening harder. A floorboard creaks. Wind touches the window. A door moves slightly. Suddenly, normal sounds do not feel normal anymore. That is one of the strangest things about horror. It can take ordinary things and make them feel suspicious. A closet is just a closet. A hallway is just a hallway. A dark bedroom is just a room with the lights off. But quiet horror makes those things feel like they know something we don't. That is why anticipation can be scarier than the scare itself. A jump scare lasts for a second. Maybe it gets you. Maybe it doesn't. But anticipation can stretch across an entire scene. Your shoulders tense up. Your eyes scan the screen. You stop watching the character and start watching the background. You wait for something to happen. And sometimes nothing happens, which somehow makes it worse. Because now the horror has nowhere to go. A loud scare gives you release. The thing jumps out, you react, and then you recover. But quiet horror can deny you that release. It can make you wait, then leave you sitting with the feeling that something is still wrong. I think quiet horror also connects to childhood fear, especially the fear of dark rooms, the fear of the hallway at night, the fear of sleeping with the closet door open. Most of us have had that moment. You are in bed, the lights are off, the room looks different than it did during the day. A pile of clothes becomes a figure, a shadow in the corner becomes a person. The open closet becomes a place where something could be happening. Even if you know better, your brain still will whisper, "What if?" Quiet horror understands that feeling. It knows fear does not always need logic. Sometimes fear is just the shape of a room at night. Sometimes fear is the closet door being open when you are sure you closed it. A child does not need a full backstory for the monster in the closet. The closet is enough. The dark is enough. The possibility is enough. And quiet horror uses that same kind of fear. Another reason quiet horror works is because what we imagine is often worse than what we see. I love a good creature reveal. I love practical effects. I love a strange face in the dark. But there is a special kind of fear that only exists before the reveal. Before we see what it is, it could be anything. A ghost, a person, something that does not move like it should, something that has been there the entire time. And because we do not know, our mind custom builds the fear for us. Very rude of the brain, honestly. It knows exactly what bothers us. That is why sometimes the scariest part of a horror movie is not the monster. It is the moment before the monster appears. The moment when the camera stays still. The moment when you realize you are staring into the dark, waiting for the dark to stare back. Quiet horror is very good at making us afraid of possibility. The closet could be empty. The hallway could be safe. The sound could be nothing. But it could also be something. And that uncertainty is where the fear lies. This is also why quiet horror lingers after the movie ends. A loud scare can shock you in the moment, but quiet horror follows you home. It waits until you turn off the lights. It waits until the house settles. It waits until you notice how dark the hallway looks from your bedroom. Then it comes back. Not as a scene, as a feeling. You remember the silence. You remember the open door. You remember the shadow that might have moved. And suddenly, your own bedroom feels slightly less familiar. That is the quiet power of this kind of horror. It does not always need to be big. It does not always need to explain itself. It does not attack all at once. It waits. It lets silence become suspicious. It lets imagination do the dirty work. Quiet horror understands something very simple. Sometimes the scariest thing is not seeing the monster. Sometimes the scariest thing is wondering if it is already there. This is the Quiet Unease. Stay safe until we meet again.